on, as you can see, Paul, and the invocation this evening will be delivered by Pastor Kevin O'Connor of the Agape Fellowship Church. And after that, we'll say Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, American flag.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for everyone that has came here tonight, Lord. We ask that you would help us as we seek to do the business of Coffeyville, Lord. We pray that you would help lead and guide our leaders, God. Give them wisdom and direction, and help us to help them in any way we can. Make us your hands and feet. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, the review of the agenda. We will pass on item D is a review of the agenda. E is a consent agenda, and we're gonna number 1, 2, and 3. It will be voted on at one time. Number 1 is the City Commission meeting minutes, Tuesday, October 9th of this year. Item number 2 is the City Commission special meeting minutes of the same date, Tuesday, October 9th. And number 3 is the 2018 appropriation ordinance AO-18-20 for the amount of $4,559,579.51. If we don't have any questions or discussion, we'll need a motion and a second.
I have just a few things to point out because once again, it's a rather large appropriation ordinance. It includes, just for the public so that they'll know, we have quarterly insurance payment for our power plant, and that is about $105,000. We also redid the floor at the aquatic center inside the bathhouse area. It was needing done. I don't think it's ever been redone before. I think that's right. But that had the epoxy floor covering put on, and that was $15,200. Then we had the biggest part was to the Grand River Dam Authority, and that was about $3 million. And of course, then with that comes the transmission part of it that we have to pay, which is $554,000. So there again are some larger things that just so that the public is made aware of. Including that is our payroll that's bi-weekly, and that's about $360,000. So that's just some of the bigger ticket items and that we have that takes to make the city work. So that's all that I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Anne Marie. Okay, if I can get a motion and a second.
Chris, anything?
I don't have anything. I move to approve consent agenda item as presented.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Doan to approve the consent agenda as presented. Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Doan.
Aye.
Okay, for item F on our meeting agenda, it's about public hearing, special presentation of proclamations. We don't have any.
I think there's one more item there.
Did I skip one? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, item number 4 on, thank you, Anne Marie. Consent agenda item number 4 is ordinance. It's a payment, a bill of $213.43 to Isham's. And I'd make a motion to approve that appropriation ordinance as read.
I second the motion.
Motion was made by Commissioner Taylor and seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve appropriation ordinance number AO-18-20A for adoption. Commissioner Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Abstain.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye. I guess there's no need passing that one on till the next meeting. Sorry about that, Anne Marie. Okay, on item number F is the regular agenda items, and we don't have any. Like I said, the public hearings, the special presentation, and proclamations. So we have no items under F. G, old business. We have no old business, I understand. Item number H is the new business. And we have 6 items. The first one is Resolution R-18-75. It is a resolution to approve the fee schedule effective January the 1st of 2019. Okay?
Mayor and Commissioners, in your packet there is a copy of the fee schedule. When we codified our ordinances, we pulled all of our fees out of the ordinances and put them in a fee schedule, which we review on an annual basis. This covers everything from our licensing to our admissions at the pool, the golf course, our cemetery services. It's just a very comprehensive fee schedule. During the budget session, we did go over the fees. We recommended changes. The only changes that we have that we're recommending are to the cemetery services, a slight increase in the cremation fees, and then at the golf course there would be some changes at the golf course. On your fee schedule, that's all highlighted. It's kind of the grayish-green color. At the golf course, the all-day play was changed from to Monday, Thursday. 18 holes is $17. There was a senior citizen discount, $2 off per round, and recommending discontinuing that. Increases for the golf cart rental fees for 9 holes, that would increase from $5 to $8 a person. On 18 holes, it would increase from $8 to $12 a person. And then on the annual green fees, recommending discontinuing the senior rates. Other than that, everything else will remain the same. And as I indicated, we discussed this in our budget session.
True. Thank you, Cindy. Okay. So, I've read that resolution. Any questions, discussion? I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as read.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Taylor and seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve resolution number R-18-75 for adoption. Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Doan,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
Okay, we're going to move on to item number 2. It's a resolution number R-18-76. It is a resolution to dissolve the Senior Citizen Activity Center as a city organization. Now, I understand from reading this that these duties are taken care of by the county now.
That is correct. In 1978, when the Senior Citizen Center was built, there was a board that was organized to oversee the center. We did sell that building to the county earlier this year, so it's our recommendation that we dissolve that board. All of the funding for the Senior Citizen Center comes through the county at the recommendation of the Council on Aging. I met along with Charlotte Scott Schmidt, who's the county clerk. We met with the board last week and went through all of this, and they're fine with dissolving. They know there'll be a couple of people from Coffeyville that will be appointed to the Council on Aging, so they'll still be active.
Okay. Any questions?
I have none.
Okay.
I move to, I move to approve resolution number R-18-76.
And I'll second it.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Taylor to approve resolution number R-18-76 for adoption. Commissioner Van Oster,
Aye.
Commissioner Doan,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Item number 3, it's a resolution number A-18-77, a resolution to execute a mutual aid agreement with the Montgomery County Rural Fire Department or District. Fire Chief Bob Roski will make comments. Welcome, Chief Bob.
Good evening. Vice Mayor, Commissioners, tonight I bring you a written mutual aid agreement between the Coffeyville Fire Department and the Montgomery County Rural Fire Department. Basically, we already have this in place. This is just a written agreement now. As I was going through my AFG grant, which is the Assistance to Firefighters grant, they asked for a written agreement, and we said, well, we don't really have one, so we figured we better write one up and bring that in front of you tonight. So if you have any questions, I'll answer any of them.
No? I think,
Paul, have you looked through this? Yes. Okay. It's fine. Okay. Reading through it, I seen there was some.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You know, when it talks about, I'm trying to get the correct wording, but basically our liability,
Yes.
if something would happen and stuff like that. So I just wanted to make sure all that was,
Yes, it's addressed in there.
okay, awesome.
okay. With the motion and a second, we can proceed to vote.
I make the motion to approve resolution number R-18-77.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve resolution number R-18-77 for adoption. Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Doan.
Aye.
We'll move on to number 4.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. Resolution number 4 is a resolution number R-18-78. It is a resolution to approve a contract with Muller Construction for the demolition of 6 structures. Code Enforcement Officer Tammy Dixon will make comments.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and City staff. I'm Tammy Dixon. I'm the City of Coffeyville's Code Enforcement Officer. I'm here tonight to ask the approval of 2 resolutions, the first being number R-18-78, a contract for the demolition of 6 non-asbestos containing structures in Coffeyville, Kansas. I'm asking that this contract be awarded to Muller Construction in the amount of $16,645. And I believe in your staff report, I kind of provided you with, kind of spelled out some details, but I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have.
No, of course, we're talking about this first one now, it's from Muller.
Yes.
Then we'll go on to the next one, but I don't have no questions.
I just have, you say it's 6
Yeah,
and there's 7.
number 6, 1405 West 9th is already down.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
Sorry, that was my mistake.
No.
And so when I went in there, I must have skipped a letter, and I just noticed that tonight, and I thought, okay, well, that one's already down. So there is just 6 structures.
Okay. Good.
So does the price stay the same, or?
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Good, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. You guys got any more questions?
Not on this one.
Okay.
No, I don't.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution R-1878 as read for adoption.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Taylor and seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve resolution number R-18-78 for adoption. Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye. Excuse me, aye.
Okay. Item number 5 is resolution number R-18-79. It is a resolution to approve a contract with Billman's Mobile Home Moving for the demolition of 18 structures. Code Enforcement Tammy Dixon, have you got anything to add?
Well, there is a little bit of updated information. When, I've never worked with Billman's before, and so when we got back from the bid opening, I started doing some research. I requested their asbestos license, and they had been trained in Oklahoma, but they did not hold a license in Kansas, so I contacted KDHE, and with working with them, explained that they would have to hold a Kansas license before they removed any asbestos here in Coffeyville. They immediately started working on it, and real late Friday night, they called me, and they said that because there's like a 10-day waiting period, and that is if they meet all the requirements for the licensure. They called and said that they had contacted ACM Removal, and that for this demolition, they would be contracting them. I explained to them that the bid could not change. They said they understood that. ACM I've worked with ACT and ACM, and I find them to be a very reliable company. So at this point, instead of pending, I guess what we would like to do is go ahead and ask that Billman's Mobile Home and Moving be awarded the contract for $96,000. If you have any questions after reading all that, I'd be happy to answer those.
Okay, well, I've read everything, went through everything.
I have too, but obviously with a new contractor, you have some concerns. Have we checked references and things of that nature to confirm their quality of work?
The only person that they had done some removal in Independence, Kansas. So I contacted the building inspector there, and he did assure me that they had removed structures and they had no difficulty with them, and that they had removed them according to what they require. Now, I don't know if they require the same thing that we do or not. It'll be a learning process for them, I'm sure. I don't believe that it's kind of a new endeavor. They're a moving service, a mobile home moving service, but they have some experience, and I believe they're trying to branch out into the demolition business. So
I think if my memory serves me correctly, 2 questions.
okay.
First of all, they did some work for Independence. How many? 18 structures is a lot of structures. Their experience in Independence, was that multiple structures or just 1 or 2 structures? Or?
I reached him on his cell phone. He was not in his office, and he couldn't recall everything. So I can definitely go back, and I haven't heard back from him. I can go back and try to get some clarification if you guys want that. I agree. I've had a bad experience in the past.
That's where I was going next.
I don't. Everything that I've checked so far, they seem like they're eager to please and to get into this business. But I would be more than happy to look into it. We looked into every which way that would be most cost effective for the city, and there was just every way you cut it. They had come enough under that it is. I didn't feel like I could come to you guys and ask for the second highest bidder at this point, because I don't have a good reason not to use them. So I felt like it was probably appropriate that that we give them a shot. They came to the bid opening and won the award.
Do you feel like your research into this contractor is sufficient enough to make a recommendation that we use them, given your past experience with using the new folks on the block, so to speak?
That what I've shared with you is all that I know at this point. So I couldn't say comfortably that.
What would be the
Consequences?
what would be the consequences of putting this off for 2 weeks for you to do more research, or is there more research for you to do?
Well, I've just started contacting the owner of this business. He was not at the opening, and so I'd asked them to start sending over some information to me, and they seem more than eager to do that. I would like to see what structures they have removed and where. if I find that Independence is the only place they've done it, you know, then we'd have to go from there. But if they have more references for me to check, I would be glad to do that.
I move that we table resolution number R-1879 until we get further information for 2 weeks.
I'll second.
I'm fine with that.
I'd like to,
Motion is on the floor to table resolution number R-18-79
Okay.
for 2 weeks.
Hold on, Cindy.
well, he got done talking, he made the motion and everybody, I wanted to visit about it for a minute if I could.
Okay.
I've known Billman's for a long time. What are the consequences? We're paying them as they go, right?
No, it's it'll be one contract.
Okay, so if they fail, then we don't really lose anything because they didn't do the job.
There are, there are consequences with each step, if they go over the time, you know, it gets down to it, Paul might, off the top of your head, might know a little bit more, but there are consequences, and until we sign off, and not only myself, but Thomas will have to go out and check the grade and the slope and all of that, until we receive the plumbers,
Right.
that they're all capped, then no, nothing would be paid to them.
Right, I mean, so,
Paul, if,
okay.
Yeah, there are some liquidated damages that would apply. I think the concern, from my perspective too, is we did have a bad experience one time in the not too recent past, and you know, they've got a pretty ambitious time schedule here too compared to the other contractors. So
You know, so we've got an ambitious time schedule, we're putting off 2 weeks, you know, to check into it. I guess I'm upset as a contractor. We bring in a contractor, they go to the bid meeting, we don't pre-approve them, then they're low bidder, and then we go through all this. It just doesn't seem right.
well, they don't, I guess,
No.
maybe we should change the way we do that.
Yeah.
Nobody's, they're not expected to notify me. I show up at the bid opening, and I'm not sure who
Right.
all is bid at this point. I find out then. So
Yeah.
at that point, that's when I was like, okay, we have somebody new, so I started trying to do
Right.
some checking. And like I said, so far, they're very eager to get me any information, but just, I don't have a lot to offer you guys.
I talked to the guy, I ran into him in an auction the other day, and he wanted to know if he could be here, and I said, I don't know, I'll talk to Cindy. And I talked to Cindy today, and I didn't come to you because she says it's on the agenda, and everything looked like it was ready to go, and there wasn't any concerns about it.
Well,
And then
no, originally there are, if you'll look, it was pending them getting KDHE licensure.
Well, I knew that.
Yeah.
And Cindy told me they were gonna get that, okay.
But they've changed, so
Right.
that's why I said I would
Right.
go ahead and recommend them tonight, but if,
I'd
I
like to
also
see us,
understand not feeling comfortable.
Tam, I don't have any, I think you've done your job. I'd like to see us change our procedures. So when we get a contractor, it's approved and we, you know, whatever we're gonna do there. I think we need to look at that. If you guys wanna hold off, that's fine, but, you know, I don't see a problem with getting the thing going. I'd rather have a local contractor get it, yes, but that's why we do the bidding. Everybody understands that. And now you know, it just doesn't seem like there's much consequences. On your bad experience you had, we always have bad experiences with contractors. It happens every day.
I've only got one that I've ever had
Yeah.
a bad experience.
Yeah, I know he's saving us $17,430 under the next, under bidder number 4, and $27,930 on bidder number 2.
Yes,
Or actually, it's bidder number 3.
that's 3 to
And
4 more
it's a lot of
structures in the
money. He
future.
came over and looked at it, and I've seen this happen a little bit before here. I don't remember what it was, okay? But I just don't like the way it's going.
So how do you, because they're not, they can turn them in up until the last minute.
Yeah.
So we would have to look at like a pre-requirement. They couldn't
Yeah.
just turn in a bid at the last minute because they've decided to. We would have to figure out, to
Yeah.
pre-qualify anybody.
Yeah. We need to do something. I think this happened one more time on something. I don't remember what, but I just don't, I know. It just doesn't right. You run into the guy, you talk to him, you talk to the city. I guess I should have come talk to you. I've only got so much time. It gets here, you know, saving us, well, I run the percentages, 15% is what he saved us from the next lower bidder. And it just seemed like, you know, we ought to go with it, because it,
Jim, from my perspective, if we're trying to work with this guy, I hope it happens. I think
Yeah.
staff hopes it happens, but we need a little more time just to make sure he can do this in the timeframe he
Yeah.
set out. Because if he can't do it, if he looks at it and decide, and I know he's already bid.
yeah, these houses have been here for, dilapidated for a long time. I don't,
But if
okay.
he's new to this,
Yeah.
this area, and maybe he's biting off, you know, I would hope we would extend that time from
Okay.
30 days to 60 days and make sure he can succeed. That's a win-win for both sides.
I understand. That's fine.
It's $100,000. I'd do my homework if I was gonna spend it.
I think he's did his homework, okay?
I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about us.
Yeah,
We're,
Yeah,
we're,
but-
we're
but-
looking at $96,000.
Right,
So
but we don't
there
have
is a
to
little
pay him
level of
if he doesn't
uncomfortableness.
do the work.
No, but
We're-
I think we don't want to have all these problems. It is not fun to go through like you did
No.
on the one.
No.
And it creates a lot of, I would rather us
Okay.
be good in this and make sure,
Okay.
because that time frame, because like you've got down like 301 West Third, that's really not a house. It's a, it's that, oh, excuse me, Chris. It's that, it was used to be a business, and it's, it's pretty massive. And so that's,
Well, and
30 days
as Mr. Kreitz pointed out, if we get him, I want him to be successful.
Right.
We might have different qualifications. All contracts are different for different cities in the way you have to backfill and the way you have to grade. I don't know, I had a couple contractors call me and say, can we bury it? No, we don't allow that.
Okay.
So we just want to make sure that he gets a level playing ground too, and that before we,
Maybe, I don't know which departments and what contracts and what procurement we want to do this on, but maybe in the future we can figure out how to get it figured out before we come here.
okay.
Maybe add another layer in the process.
We can do that.
But, okay, great, thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
With additional discussion, I believe there's a motion on the floor.
Yes. Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Doan to table resolution number R-18-79 until the next meeting. Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Doan,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster,
aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Okay. We go on to resolution. Okay, and we're ready for city manager's report.
All I can say is, wow, the people are great, dedicated, believe in you, and I know you want great things for them besides the city of Coffeyville. Commissioner Doan is going to be busy Thursday. We're going to be visiting KDOT and some others. We've talked about that. Invitations are open. Topeka's not that far. We'll get our names out in front of them. So anytime a commissioner has some spare time, we'll arrange meetings. And they will know Coffeyville, one way or the other, good, bad, or indifferent. But it's been exciting. I keep telling everybody I'm 7 days old today. So they've just been great. There's sharing of information, the things that they do. I've been just impressed on the things that they get accomplished and how they go about it. So you got a great group of people, and they do understand you want great things for Coffeyville. So that's about it. I hope I thanked everybody. Great community. I'm excited to be here. So,
Good.
Great.
any other questions, I'll be glad to answer those.
No, I think we're good. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Glad everything's going good so far. Okay, now we've got the comments from the public, and I'll read this to you. The public is free to comment on items not listed on the agenda. Please address comments to the commission as a body and be mindful of others who may also wish to speak by limiting your comments to 3 minutes. Anybody wants to come forward? Doesn't look like, oh, there we go. John, come on up.
Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Staff. I would like to announce that we're going to have our second annual Veterans Day celebration this year, as we did last year for the first year. And it went over real well last year. A few hiccups, like the weather didn't cooperate real well, but other than that, it was great. We've got a good plan coming up. Invite the city commissioners and city staff to be a part of it, naturally. And I'm here tonight to welcome all the area veterans to participate as well. That's what it's all about. Our city fire departments come on board, and they're going to serve dinner again, lunch again. And if y'all been in the paper, if y'all have any questions about the activities, we're going to start out at the VFW with breakfast from 7 to 9:30. From there, we're going to move on to the Court of Valor. We're going to have the raising of the flag by the combat vets. We're going to put up the Gold Star flag for the mothers that lost their children in the war and as well, and laying of the wreath. The Phil Kinley Choir will be there to sing for us, and they did a real good job last year. And then we're going to continue on down here by Spruce and 8th Street and line up for our parade. Start lining up about 11 o'clock. Parade will start at 11:30, and it'll commence on down 8th Street to Walnut, turn back to the Youth Center. In the Youth Center, we'll have lunch and some speakers and some other presentations. So that's what I'm here for tonight, and I thank you for allowing me to speak.
John, where you advertise? You advertise that on Facebook or?
Facebook, the local newspapers, Montgomery County Chronicle. I'll be on the radio November 6th, about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Last year I got to go to Tulsa and speak on TV, but I'm not going to do that this year. But we had a good turnout last year. I look for the same this year. We try to gather all the area veterans' names and addresses to the organizations here, and we've mailed out over 200 flyers that I have in my pocket here, along with a letter to invite them, so they're aware. We have a lot of the businesses will be joining us with trailers and floats for our veterans to ride on. Our Grand Marshal this year will be Roger Walker. He's a retired Army veteran. I think he has 22 years of service. So it's just going to be another great event.
Good, John.
Okay.
John, what day will that be on?
I'm sorry. That's very important. November 10th, the day before. I know it's actually November 11th, and I think a lot of the others, a lot of them celebrate it now on the following Monday. But we're going to have our activities on November 10th. Independence will start theirs at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Saturday, huh?
Saturday.
November 10th. Okay?
Thank you.
Well, thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you, John.
All righty. Now it's time for comments from the commissioners and staff. Oh, oops, sorry, Candy.
Sorry, Candy Westbrook from the Chamber. Just wanted to thank the community for Spooktacular last night. According to our businesses and organizations that handed out candy, it was the biggest night that they've had in recent years. So I think approximately 800 kids came through. So we want to thank everybody in the community for that, and also to mark the calendars for December 7th, which is the Christmas parade. And that'll be another big event that's downtown, and just want to make sure the community knew about that. We've had a lot of questions. So
Great. Thank you, Candy. Okay. Without any more comments from the public, we're going to move to comments from the commissioners and staff. Which goes first? It says commissioners and staff. Commissioners first.
Would you like to get staff out of the way and then you can close?
it doesn't
Would that
make
be
any
okay?
Sounds like a good plan.
There we go, Chuck.
Mr. Vice Mayor, Commissioners, a few weeks ago at a commission meeting, I promised I would bring you a brief update on our transportation capital improvement plan. In your agenda packets in section K is a detailed on the history, what we've done, what we're planning to do. So I won't go through that in detail tonight. Just some quick highlights. We've had 2 half-cent sales taxes dedicated to funding our capital improvement plans since 2013. The city of Coffeyville has approximately 108 miles of paved streets to maintain, which is roughly the distance of a 2-lane highway to Wichita or a 4-lane highway to Owasso or to Joplin, Missouri. As approved by the City Commission, 70% of the funds we have are designated for preventive maintenance, such as crack sealing or surface sealing, to prevent deterioration of the streets, and the remaining 30% is allocated to repair and replacement. Whenever possible, we've leveraged these funds with state and federal grants. Since we began our Transportation Capital Improvement Plan, we've applied for and received street project grants totaling over $6 million. On the map in your packets and on the screens here, the colored lines are streets that have been improved, and the dots are intersections that are improved. Red color is major street reconstruction. Light blue is street preservation projects. The yellow indicates major street reconstruction projects planned for this year and next year, and the green indicates surface seal projects planned for next year. To date, we've crack sealed nearly every street in town that's not beyond being saved by crack sealing. We've surface sealed approximately 650 blocks or more than 50 miles of residential streets. We've surface sealed approximately 2/3 of the city-owned parking lots in the downtown area. We've improved 49 intersections by either full intersection replacement or drainage swale replacement to reestablish proper drainage and reconstruct the destroyed portion of the streets. These projects also included handicap access sidewalk ramps. We've completed 61 blocks of total street replacement, which also included handicap access sidewalk ramps. And we've completed 4.5 miles or 18 lane miles of highway joint replacement and repair projects. I'd be happy after you all have a chance to look through that if you have any questions. If you have any tonight, I'll try to answer them. If not, feel free to give me a call. Is there any questions?
Just a lot to do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chuck.
Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck. Okay. Nothing else from staff, commissioners?
Got a couple things. Actually, just one. Well, maybe more than one. Who knows? First of all, I've received several complaints, and I feel they're legitimate, of foot traffic on US 169, 166 bridge east of Coffeyville. Since the movement of Walmart out there, we're getting a lot of foot traffic that is walking to Walmart at night. That bridge, I believe, is in state jurisdiction, but there's absolutely no lighting on that bridge. Back in the day, there used to be some form of lighting that illuminated that bridge, and the issue is that folks are walking across that bridge at night, walking to Walmart, and are not lit up enough to see the pedestrian traffic for oncoming vehicles. There have been several near misses of people being struck on that bridge. I know you guys are having a meeting with KDOT. That may be something that would need to be addressed. I know that we've already had one fatality on that bridge from a similar incident here several months ago. So I think that that's something that perhaps the city can bring forth to KDOT. That would be a small expense that may be a life-saving issue somewhere down the line. I was going to talk about Spooktacular, but there was a lot of participation last night, a lot of kids, and they had a great time. I also want to acknowledge the passing of two former city employees. One of them being Phil Slofelt, that was retired from Coffeyville Police Department, and then the second one is Mike Adcock, that retired from the Coffeyville Police Department, that I found out that passed away. Those were two longtime city employees that were faithful to their community and did an outstanding job serving the citizens of Coffeyville, and I want to acknowledge them. That's all that I have.
Very good. Thank you. Anything?
I just want to remind the public that we have a spot in our meetings for public comment. Very few meetings do we ever have somebody that comes forward to talk to us about praise or something that they're not necessarily happy about. Everything is welcome. You'll see a lot of disgruntled people in our community on Facebook. I always welcome them to come here. If they have an issue that they want to talk about, you know, this is the place to talk about it. If they don't feel comfortable coming to the meeting, then feel free to make contact with one of the commissioners or the city staff.
Come see
the
us.
new city manager, he's 7 days old. He'd love to talk to you. But yeah, I'd love to see some more people come in and participate in our meetings.
I'll ditto that. I've said it since I've been here for about 3 years, 3.5 years. I've begged, I'm just telling people all the time, come on up, because we will listen. I've seen it happen time and time again. I've said it many times. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Commissioners, I'd like to speak about that. If we're real sincere about that, we might discard the 3-minute rule. Very few people want to take the time to come up here and get involved and then be told that they could speak for 3 minutes. If it's not important enough to spend more than 3 minutes, please don't invite us to be here. Thank you.
Okay, on to that subject.
Paul, can the commission can extend that?
Right.
If you take the time that 3 minutes come, if you'd like to do that, you can extend that.
Right.
Just
this is a topic we need to talk about sometime. I guess first of all, this 3-minute deal got moved back to the end of the meeting. When I went to the Kansas League Municipalities meeting, Crystal and I went. We what was the name of that little town that I got you guys a package on over by Wichita?
Derby.
I think that was the town that they have a pretty interesting deal, and what they did, if that's the town I remember right, because I think I was talking to those guys, they have a 5-minute rule, and then at the end of that 5 minutes, they hit the gavel, and if they decide as commissioners if they want to extend it, if that's the proper time, they kind of vote on it real quick and let them go for another 5 minutes. I thought that sounded like a pretty good deal, because we've had something that went 20 or 30 minutes, and I like that, because sometimes, you know, the meeting's not that long, you have a little more time, it's something the public's interested in. I do feel like we need to think about that, and I'd like to move it up to the front, because a lot of people don't want to sit here for 2 hours. Now, Chris, I know that you had something to do with moving that to the back, if my memory serves me correctly. Do you remember that?
I think that you're right, and the reason that we did that is that we had contractors and stuff like that were flying in from various parts of the country, and they had flights and things like that, that they had to you know, get their business done and then go catch a plane and things. So we moved that towards the end because just as you're mentioning, that could take a longer period of time. And if we get those business folks and contractors up that needed to take care of their business, we wouldn't delay them here
Okay.
and get them through the process and get them to where they needed to go.
Okay, well, there's different opinions and ideas on that. We can talk about it. Where you came from, Liberty Mark, when did they do theirs? First, the end?
They did it the first, and it was 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Well, I, you know, we can think about it. Don't have to make any decisions, quick decisions. I thought the first, they could come here, say the prayer, say the pledge, say their business, and go on about their business. They know when their time is. It's at about 6:35, and they move on. Because a lot of those people don't want to sit here, and they're not going to sit here for 2 hours to talk for 3 minutes. Okay? So that's just a thought. I do think we need to change it. We've had some experiences, as most of us know, that need a little modification. And it was talked about then doing something. So we need to come up with a plan. I don't know, can we have a work session to talk about that sometime maybe? Would that be more appropriate than one of these meetings, Chris?
I think that if, my concern is that, and I know that we've varied off of this on various times, and it has been beneficial at times, but at other times it's descended into chaos. The thing is I think that if we want to go on into a long drawn out listening and give an exchange session, that you should schedule a separate time from a regular meeting to do that, and you know, call it a listening session or something like that, because basically this agenda is, when we come to these meetings every other week, is to take care of city business. And if we want to have multiple people come in and express their concerns to us, then let's schedule a specific time for those people to come in, and we can address those concerns or listen to those concerns or something like that. Because I mean, as you've seen in the past, things evolve into perhaps things that they shouldn't evolve into, if that's. So the thing is that, and I'll be the first to admit, sometimes it's difficult to be disciplined up here, and sometimes I have lacked that self-discipline discipline as well. So, and the thing is I just don't want to see us. I want people to come forward, and we need to discuss about those issues and have a give and take. But I don't want to see our meetings evolve into a chaotic episode again.
Well, they were just talking 5 minutes.
I said what I said.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And I think it's a great place to talk. And I think we should move to the front, and you guys think about it. We'll talk to the mayor about it. We can talk to the manager about it. But I really think we should move it up to the front, limit it to 5 minutes, and come up with that rule that they did, and we talk about it some, you know.
Commissioner Williams has a good point. It is one of those that.
Right.
You can do moving that, but it is one of those is meetings, and you can limit it and stick to, and if further conversation is needed, then we can schedule something. But I think he has a good point that, you know, meetings should progress and take care of city business, but you want to hear those concerns from citizens. The 5 minutes could lead to information I could take and get with them. So I think it can be a blend, but I think all commissioners have a good point that we gotta, you know, get the city business done, and we want to hear them. So I can help out on that part by taking a number of the 5 minutes and be in contact with them, and if there's a need to sit down with a commissioner or two, we can arrange that.
Yeah, I think we can do a 4-minute warning, and at 5, we let them know it's over, and then we have to vote on it again. I think it's a great idea. What do you think about that, Anne Marie?
Oh, I'm fine for that, whatever. I mean, we need to let the people be heard.
Right.
They know all of us are here
Right.
on the second and fourth Tuesday of each evening. But we just do it and watch, at the time limit, and that we have a very respectful environment and so forth as we're doing that.
And we can, Commissioner Williams, if
Right.
this is what the commission chooses. Cindy is great. We can look at those coming in, because that is a good point, that if you want to get them on their way, and with that, we know on the agenda, and we'll make sure that they're moved higher on the agenda as possible. But there's different ways to do this, but I think the intention is to have a public meeting, and you want to hear. We'll just come up with a way that's good for both, because that is a good point. If you delay this meeting longer and longer, you don't get city business done. But we can work up some ideas and take a little both and see what we can come up with.
We've had several meetings that we allowed 20 to 30 minutes, and not that long ago.
Well, there might be a way of shortening that.
Yeah,
And
I think the
accomplishing what
5-minute rule
Commissioner
will
Williams
definitely
wants.
shorten it up.
Right.
You
And
know.
like you said, it gets the communication started, and then we can go from there.
And then we can go over there and set
Right,
up and
if
arrange
it
things.
needs to be a
from there.
longer.
Okay, great.
We can get a blend.
Okay, I'm
like-
for that.
I'd like to know how other government agencies do that as well.
We can, and that's easy enough. We'll put out the word, and we'll get back with it. and
I've
get
talked
with
to
that with
3 or
commission.
4 of them at the Kansas League, and that's how they do it.
But
That's how they do it.
I think, Commissioner Williams, you do have a good point, is
Right.
we can do it all. We can get it
Right,
through it,
right.
and we'll keep moving.
Yeah, and we can talk to the league and see how a lot of them are doing it, do a little research. We're in no hurry to do this. As long as we get it, I'd like to, it's just something that came up. But this, I think, the 3rd time it came up in the last 6 months, isn't it, Chris?
If my memory serves me correctly, yes.
So I'm anxious to do something on that. Okay. Okay. Do we have an executive session today? No? Okay, item J, no. Okay, public work, is Chuck Lively gonna talk about item number K? Am I on track here, Cindy?
No, he already did.
Chuck already talked about that.
Okay, it's at the end of this
The
thing.
information was just provided in the packet in K.
Okay, well, I guess that concludes our meeting. Thank you.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Doan to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye.